Welcome to week 3. Week 1 was about awareness, right? We connected the onboarding and the orientation. And then week 2, it was about milestones 1, 2, 3. It was also about commission qualification and then aligning your income goals with activity. Now here we are, week 3. Yep, welcome to week 3 of 23seven. You've made it this far, and we are going to focus more into operational ownership because this is where you're going to begin managing yourself inside of your business, right? So, week 1, again, we talked about what's possible in your first 13 weeks. Week 2, we broke down how the engine actually works, commission, structure, business centers. Week 3 is now where we're going to kind of put those together and we're going to shift because it's about us no longer really understanding, but more like operating. So today is about activation, visibility, and leadership ownership. By activation, we're taking action intentionally. Visibility is knowing where you stand. Leadership is operating in a way that's going to prepare you so that you can guide someone else as well as they begin their journey. So when you see clearly, you can move clearly. And we are going to move into what matters with week 3. Let me turn this heater off. My apologies. So, week 3, this is ownership. This is where the awareness and the alignment is going to become actionable. And if you don't know your numbers, you cannot manage your growth, right? So, we're going to go over things like tracking numbers, being able to know where to follow up so that you're not guessing because that creates more cortisol increasing, right? When you're guessing because you don't know what is what. And then we're going to really focus on giving you that visibility so that can help create your own personal responsibility as a brand partner. So when we move into the visibility part, this is us actually going into the USANA hub, opening Pacesetter widget and clicking into the report. So this is your dashboard, right? Your hub. This is going to show all the information you need when you're looking for your enrollment date, your current personal volume, your milestone progress, including enrollment. So we want to make sure you know exactly where to find this without hesitation and not just knowing where to find it, but understanding what you're looking at. So now I'm going to walk you through and show you exactly where things live in Pacesetter so that you can understand where you currently are and what it is that you need. This is your dashboard. Pacesetter, we went over this last week, so we're going to walk through this a little more quicker. Now, milestone 1, milestone 2, and milestone 3. When you click on it, it gives you the description if it was not already achieved. But milestone 1, we know is 250 points. That is volume in weeks 1 through 4. Milestone 2 is 500 sales volume points in weeks 5 through 8 that is accumulated, but it has to be from at least 4 personally sponsored enrolls, right? 2 of them need to be brand partners. The other ones can be a mixture, or it doesn't matter if it's their preferred customer or an affiliate. They cannot be a retail customer. Now, this is going to help you earn the 100 commission points, which is $100. Now, we're going to click on View Report. So View Report, I'm going to give you a little breakdown of what the things that you should take a look at while you're here. So I want you to go into your hub for 23seven. For week 3, there's a much more detailed video that's going to show you about the columns. I'm not going to go over that right now. We're just going to look at what we have on our screen for our personal Pacesetter report. What you're going to want to do is to organize it by order date. So I'm going to make it to the most current date, be the one at the top, because I need to look at breaking down my weeks 1 through 4 and then my weeks 5 through 8. Weeks 1 through 4 for me is going to start from December 29th. December 29th up until January 23rd. How do I know that? Well, when I go back into my milestones, and if I click on milestone 1, it told me that it ended January 23rd. Milestone 1 is weeks 1 through 4. So here I am looking at weeks, let's get that back. Weeks 1 through 4 is milestone 1. I'm past and beyond that. But what you would do, you would take a look at what are these dates, look at the volume. Then I'm now looking because I need to get milestone 2. So milestone 2 for me is 124 to the most current. I would take these numbers, add them up, and this is how I would know how much volume I currently have, how many different, you see customer types, how many different I need to have a minimum of 4, which I have. However, this RC means a retail customer. This will not count. The 65 points will not count towards me locking in the 500. So I'm a little bit short of 500, but I got to get it done by the 20th. So I hope this helps with you being able to find what you need to look for. There is a more detailed video on exactly how to customize this report and more depth into the breakdown of the orders. So when you were looking at your reports, if you are trying to lock in your milestone 1, you want to make sure you know that it requires 250 points in personal volume, that you look at your numbers, right? You want to make sure you subtract whatever volume you've accumulated by 250 so that you know exactly what more volume you need, because it doesn't matter how much enrollments, it's just 250. And so when that number is clear, then your next step is going to be clear and you're going to earn and lock in that $50, which is 50 commission points. Now, milestone 2, weeks 5 through 8. Milestone 2 happens during weeks 5 through 8, which is your second time frame. So preparation does not just start at week 5. It actually begins from week 1 through 4, because 1 through 4, those customers will need to then place their auto order, which would then fall within weeks 5 through 8. So we want to be able to identify how many personals we currently have, because you need to have a minimum of 4. So in your report, you want to make sure you have that. You want to make sure your volume, add up your volume and how much enrollments you have. This is going to help you to prepare to give you what margin you will need. Now, in week 4, which is next week's training, we will go deeper into qualifying for pace setter, strategizing it, and how to maximize the 13-week window. Now let's talk about commission qualification, because this is so important. And there are 3 paths, and we're big on making sure that we're going to be transparent with you guys. So here's the truth. If you're building long-term, the 200-point qualification becomes your responsibility as you brand out your brand partner and own and build your business. That's roughly a $300 to $400 order. It can come from customers as well. Okay. Now, personal customers. There's also a 100-point option, and that's about $150 to $200 in operating one of your business centers. Now, when you do the 200-point, that's operating all 3 business centers. So you're maximizing getting paid on the volume that's rolling up. Can you alternate? Can you 1 month be this and 1 month? Absolutely. You just need to make sure you understand that when you downgrade or you just place a 100-point order for one business center, you lose the rolling up volume that you may have accumulated. And then there's always the affiliate, which has no monthly qualification, but you're still able to earn. All 3 allow income. The difference is the intent. So this is where I say choose your lane intentionally without no pressure. But remember the worksheet that we did in weeks 1 and 2. If your goal of your amount and your time and the activities that you can commit to, if those are going to align, then you are definitely going to want to keep those 3 business centers open. But no obligation and no pressure. Wanted to make sure that you know what is available for you. Now, commission qualification. This runs on a rolling 4-week cycle. So I know this looks very busy looking at this slide, but I wanted to make sure that I provided you with a clear path. So I'm going to walk you through this. So when you're in the hub, right at the top, you're going to see your business center qualification. It's going to show you whether you're qualified for one business center or all business centers, along with your qualification date. If you're not qualified, that's with the little circle next to the oval. It's going to say that you're not qualified. Now, if you look a little beneath that, there is something that you need to know about the calendar. This is our rolling calendar. Auto orders, as I shared on our week 2, only runs on Sundays. Okay. So even if your qualification date shows an earlier in the week, there is a little grace period that I talked about. But if you place an order manually by your date, before that, and accumulating, whether it's one order, an accumulation of 200 points, That is going to stay in Business Center 1, and that is going to get you commission qualified. Now, auto orders. Okay, so your auto orders, this is something that we're going to break down a little bit more into the next slide because I know I was confused at first and it took me a while and repeating it to myself and listening it from others to really lock it all in. But know this. First, we want to make sure your qualification date, you want to make sure you note that down because that's a very important thing. So auto orders. This is when the auto orders become helpful because they protect that consistency where you don't have to manage it perfectly, but you just need to know how it works. And so this rolling calendar, you can get this in your hub. You go on the sidebar on the left, the top option, you click on, I believe it's My Business. It's going to bring a drop screen and there is forms. It's in the forms. It's called the rolling calendar. This is what I wanted to break down a little bit more into detail because I did not clearly go over this in week 2. So once you choose your lane, and when I say choose your lane, talking about if you're going to do 3 business centers or 2 business centers, right? 200-point order or a 100-point order. We want to make sure you check that qualification status. So I'm going to break mine down. I'm showing February 27th is my business centers are qualified, commission qualified up until then. February 27th, if you can see in the calendar, that is following on the week cycle of 3. Now, I need to have 200 points by the 27th to activate and remain commission qualified. If I don't, then I definitely need to get my auto order process on March 1st. So how do you find this? Well, you're going to go into your hub, you click on manage for the auto orders. It's going to take you to your auto order section and you can check when the next processing date is. Because mine is on the 27th, which is that Friday. If I place and schedule my auto order to run on March 1st, I am going to remain commission qualified. And so if I were to look at this and I get commission qualified on the 27th, I am then going to have to get my next order is going to be in March on the 27th. You see how the colors are color coordinated. When you open this calendar at the bottom, there's a lot of key tips and notes. Please pay attention to those and it really will help you understand the breakdown of the rolling calendar. But it's so important that you protect your qualification so that nothing slips. Now we're moving on to follow-up orders because if you have helped somebody place an order during your first weeks 1 through 4, or now you're in weeks 5 through 8, this is going to be a great time for follow-up, right? You want to contact them, confirm their delivery. You want to check in if they've already received it. How are they doing in their products? Maybe you want to encourage some tips or something that you learned that may have made things more easy for you, whether it's you're not good at pill taking, or hey, if you got those meal replacement protein shakes, or you can add this. Just being able to give some tips and advice is going to be what's going to encourage them to have that consistency, right? And the retention is where the stability is going to build in you building your business. So we're going to actually wrap this up. I didn't realize this is not even going to be 11 minutes. Whoop, whoop. I wanted to provide you guys with a leadership minute. And I wanted to just kind of let you hear my heart and receive it, knowing that this is because we truly care about you as you build your business, right? That this is not a monthly business, right? We get paid weekly, which means we don't have an end of the month. If you build it like it's the end of the month, you are going to consistently feel pressure. So we want to encourage every brand partner to build with rhythm. And I'm going to share a tip. You do not have to follow, right? But then this is my leadership minute to you to reduce chaos, to reduce stress, to reduce feeling flustered and procrastinating. Because our pay period ends every single Friday means Saturday and Sunday corporate is closed. It means you actually have until our working hours for corporate USANA customer service. You still have the availability to place orders, which is great. But what we want you guys to avoid is trying not to have as much problems or hiccups running into things, right? So treat Thursdays like your end of your month. Make Thursday your closing day. That way, Friday becomes your adjustment day, right? This is where you can contact customer service if there's corrections that need to be made, confirming volume, follow ups, whatever you need to do that needs corporate support. You have that all day on Friday, especially whatever time zone you are in. This is another thing to take into consideration, right? So if you wait until late Friday and something goes wrong, your margin is going to be really, really short, meaning you will be able to, no guarantee, but you would be able to contact corporate, send them an email before the pay period ends. That way they can address it come that following Monday for that work day. Leadership means building with cushion, because we're going to fall and we're going to have to bounce right back up, especially when you are close to a milestone or a rank. So if you're lacking volume, don't wait. If you need more enrollments, tell yourself you have until Thursday, not Friday. But if you need it, then you have some cushion, right? Create a weekly system that is going to work for you, because when you can know where to go in your back office, right? So we talked about Paysetter reports. There's other reports that you can go through, and there's a training that's going to be uploaded regarding how to find reports. But what I shared with you right now is your Paysetter, and that is an effective report to help you lock in milestone 1, milestone 2, and pathing, that's not even a word, pursuing on to milestone 3 and qualifying for a Paysetter. Know when you check your numbers, know when to follow up, and know when to close gaps. So this week was about action. Check your numbers, close that gap, prepare early. I want you to protect your qualification. I want you to have some follow up going on with the people that you've already shared, or you help them get on some products. And then identify one person, if you haven't already, who's going to want to build with you. Because this week 3 really is about awareness becoming operational. And 23seven checklist, we do have the hub. So when you click on that, not click on that, when you go on that QR code, it's going to take you directly to our 23seven hub. This is going to be the framework where all of the trainings, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 lives, as well as any necessary resources to accompany it. What else do I need to say? 23seven, it's our simple, repeatable framework that's going to help with onboarding, leadership development, momentum, with reducing overwhelm. It starts with 7 first steps as you become a brand partner. Then it's going to take you into week 1, week 2, week 3, where we are now. That's going to give you focused action to help you build that confidence and consistency. And then we'll meet for 23 minutes from here on out every Monday. That's the goal, where we're going to have some leadership moments. We're going to give business direction, and we're going to provide you with 7 things to focus on for the week. So week 3, there are 7 things that you should do this week that's going to help build momentum, retain, and keep you going to your path to point pace setter. Everything you really need is going to help live in one place here. And then you always have your leader. You always have them to be the mentors. If you don't have, you're not sure and you're still questioning things, please don't hesitate to reach out. 23seven, we know how to do this. And we end by saying, be grateful, have faith, build your USANA business, and live your ULA life. Take care and God bless.